This is a quick video review of the Kingsing W8. I ordered this from Banggood.com about 2 weeks ago, and it arrived pretty quickly. Good foam packaging, and just sort of set it up with a few games and stuff to have a play and see what the performance is like. It's pretty good for what it is for the price. In New Zealand here it cost me about $150 with this case here. This case was actually listed for the Vaio A1 tablet, but it's just got a spring-loaded tab at the top and a micro USB connector for the keyboard, so that works fine anyway. There we go. Rotation and everything works fine. The battery time I found to be about 4 hours. That's playing games and surfing the internet and everything as well. So I will just throw this in the case and we'll jump into a few games and have a look at what it's like. Also just got it set up with a Bluetooth mouse, which is an easy way to connect the mouse, seeing the lack of a USB port. It's also really important to get a micro SD card. There's not a lot of free space left on the internal drive. Just show you what I've got left on there now. Once the mouse decides to wake up. Which hopefully will do. Oh, this table's a bit reflective. Okay, got the mouse going. The areas are a bit flat. Okay, I'll just jump into a few games. Just open up Fraps so you can see some frame rates. Okay, I might start off with Diablo 2, which is an old game, but I mean, it's just a tablet. Loads up fast, especially considering I'm running this from the micro SD card and not the internal storage. And I mean, it's totally playable. I'll get out to some monsters so you can see what it's like in a battle. I mean, 16 frames isn't fantastic, but definitely enough to play this game. No problems with anything here. Cool, we'll try something else. I mean, this would probably work actually. I'll just go back to it. It would probably work fairly well just as touchscreen. I mean, I'm sure you can use it after a while. Playing on the go. Next I might jump into... I've got a couple of other games here, Papers, Please and Plague. They're sort of indie games that don't require a lot of power anyway, so I put The Watchmen on. We'll jump into that and have a look. A bit longer load times, again loading a bigger game that's sort of a 2 GB game, and loading that off the micro SD takes a bit longer. I found the games loaded pretty quick when I loaded them off the internal storage, but they were a bit slow off micro SD. Fun, always sounding interesting. Okay, Okay, I got Steam signed in finally. We're playing on low settings on this, obviously. There's not many games that's going to play on any high settings, but again, I definitely recommend this case that I bought for the Vaio A1 off Banggood. It was only about $10 and it's perfect. It's got like a magnetic stand on the back, magnetic clip for the case. Again, just spring-loaded clip that holds into the tablet, and a micro USB keyboard, so you don't have to use a USB on the go adapter. Caps lock and everything works fine. And if I just jump on the keyboard to run around a bit, I mean the frame rate isn't very good, 10 frames, but it's alright to have a bit of fun. Jump out of there and jump into some of games from the Windows Store. These are newer games, but generally a bit more optimized to the newer processors, so they actually play a bit better. Just jump into Halo Spartan Assault. Steam's still running in the background, so it does slow stuff down a little bit, especially only having 1 GB of RAM, but I was pretty surprised. It only seems to use about 400 or 500 megabytes on idle, even jumping between the tiles and the desktop user interface. I've lost fraps in this game, but you're going to see it's pretty good frame rate anyway. This is good on the touchscreen too, you can run around and shoot. Yeah, this is available free off the Windows Store, so a good game to play on it. Jump out of there. I mean the tiles interface all works fine. You can get into the settings and everything and have a look around. Close off Steam. Battery's normally really good, it's just getting a bit low anyway. I noticed that when in Windows it has no, if we look down here, it has no battery stats. It wouldn't tell me how long's remaining, so I downloaded this free battery bar, and it's pretty cool. It gives you a capacity and discharge rates and everything, and an estimated charge time, which is handy considering it charges over micro USB. The 2 amp adapter that it comes with charges it pretty well. It probably still takes about 3.5 hours, but I mean, it's alright. Tried a few other games on it, Minion Rush, get to focus here, Solitaire, Hill Climb Racing, Flow Free, Five Nights at Freddy's is fine. Audio Surf, depending on your settings, can get a little bit laggy. And of course Minecraft, just to have a look, one last game. Resolution is really good for the money on this tablet, especially considering in this price range on an Android tablet you're going to be looking at 800 by 600, limited to the Android operating system obviously, and with this you're getting a quad core Intel processor with a gigabyte of RAM, 16 gigabytes of eMMC internal storage, which is pretty snappy. And you can play any Windows-based games and software. The tablet itself is really light and easy to carry around. It came with a screen protector on it, but it says it has hardened glass. I haven't tried to scratch it or anything. You can see all the marks from the screen protector anyway, but again, load time's not too bad considering we're playing off a micro SD card. I had to bring the draw distance right down because that seemed to really hinder it. It would appear to be underwater. Don't think I'm going to make it up in time. jump out of there. Respawn. There we go. Spawn on land this time. Sort of hard to hold the camera, but I'll just run around anyway. Again, you can see I've brought the draw distance right down. I think it may be something to do with the micro SD card, with it trying to access all the textures, and it sort of the read-write rate of the micro SD is a bit slow for it to access all the textures. I haven't tried playing it with internal storage, because the reason I think that is it's sort of running at 40 frames most of the time anyway when you're running around. I don't think it's having a problem rendering it, it's just that it's having a problem accessing all the textures on the micro SD quick enough. A quicker micro SD might fix that. That's just a 16 gig one I've got out of the phone. But yeah, as you can see, it plays games pretty well. It was on 20% battery when I started, and jumping through and loading games, it's dropped to 13.2%. But yeah, really recommend it for the money. Go tablet.